Good morning, everyone, and thank you. Can we please cue the video? Thank you.
We make products. You make yogurt, somebody makes staples, somebody makes something else. But how you make it is so important. It makes a difference. It's in our DNA that we're not just gonna make a yogurt, we're gonna make it right. What's your ingredients? How do you treat your people? How do you treat your community? What's your vision? Every act on this journey has to be nothing but good. We're not saying we're perfect, but our mindset is in the right place. We need to challenge the food manufacturers to make things right. How you make it matters. Take the preservatives out. Take the colors out. A cup of yogurt might not change the world, but how we make them, it might.
Thank you, and good morning again. It's really a pleasure to be here this morning, and I want to thank Fed Talks for inviting Chobani to be part of this conference. And you may think, why Chobani? We make the most ancient food. But the most ancient food, I will talk to you about how we use the most sophisticated technologies to deliver this high-quality product every day with high consistency. And my name is Alejandro Mazota. I'm Vice President of Global Quality, Food Safety, and Regulatory Affairs for Chobani. And I'm joined this morning by Dr. Post, who is our Senior Director for Global Nutrition and Regulatory Affairs. And together, we're going to walk you a little and send you to a journey from the farm all the way to making this ancient food in a cup, and then from there to your refrigerator. How many of you enjoyed Chobani today? Woo! Thank you. I'm originally from Argentina, and I came to the United States to study. I always wanted to work for the food industry, and after I received my PhD in food microbiology at Rutgers University, I had the great opportunity to work in this country and to work for the great companies that make the food in the food industry of the United States. I started my career working for the Pillsbury Company, that then turned into General Mills. I had a chance then to join McDonald's Corporation, and just prior to coming to Chobani, I was working for Campbell's Soup Company. So the question is, why did I join Chobani? And it's just exactly because of that message that you saw in the video and that transparency that Chobani has. I spent so many times in my career trying to defend that genetically modified foods are good for you, that preservatives are okay, that artificial colors make no problem, that artificial flavors, it's okay. Today, I'm not going to say if it is good or if it's bad, but if you don't want them in your diet, just enjoy a cup of Chobani. That's all I'm going to say. And when you think about the history of this company, and Hamdi Ulukaya, who is the founder and owner, he came from Turkey, and he also came to the United States to study. And one day he saw in the newspaper an ad that showed an old dairy plant from Kraft Foods for sale in upstate New York. Immediately he had a vision to say, why do we eat food this way in this country? We need to change that. And then he thought he was crazy and put the newspaper in the trash. But the vision didn't go away. The next morning he woke up, went to the trash, got the newspaper, drove to that plant, and then with the help of New York State, he was able to purchase the old Kraft plant, and he recruited 5 of the people that were working in the plant that were the old employees from Kraft. He wanted to bring that recipe from his mother on how to make this perfect yogurt, and it took him 2 years without a profit, 2 years. Working and working, making that perfect cup of yogurt. The treatment of the milk, how do you cook it, the cultures that you add to it, the flavor development from the lactic acid bacteria, how do we make that? 2 years to make the perfect cup of yogurt. Once he got it, and he by hand put it into a cup and sent it to New York City to the shelves, the rest is history. We want more, we want more, we want more. He started to grow so big that that small plant then did not have any more capacity. So he decided to start a great project, and he built in Idaho the largest, most automated dairy plant in the world. And that's what we have now in the Twin Falls area in Idaho, a sophisticated, automated, amazing plant full of, loaded with the state-of-the-art technology to deliver this perfect Asian food, a cup of yogurt. And what I'm going to talk to you about is three things. How do we make the yogurt? How do we assure quality and food safety of this yogurt? And how do we innovate at Chobani? And how technology is behind these three areas. How do we make the yogurt? It's very simple. People always say, well, what else do you add to that? What else do you add to that? No, yogurt for Chobani is skim milk and lactic acid bacteria and probiotics. That's all it is. That's when you get a cup of plain Chobani yogurt. How do we make it? We receive the milk from farms that have the agreement with Chobani to produce the milk from cows that are not treated with hormones, not treated with antibiotics. We want the fresh, best milk coming from local farmers in New York State and from local farmers in Idaho. The milk comes in, we do all the appropriate tests to make sure we have the freshest, best milk coming into the plant, and from there we separate the skim milk from the butterfat. We pasteurize the skim milk to make sure we assure food safety, but also on a process, on a cooking step, to really start denaturing that protein that will give that flavor and that consistency to the Chobani yogurt. After that, that goes into a big tank where the probiotics and lactic acid bacteria are added to it at the right temperature and in the right time. The lactic acid bacteria will start eating the lactose, the sugar in the milk, and produce lactic acid. That acidity starts to coagulate the protein, and then you have yogurt. Now, traditionally, what do you do with that? You have a cheesecloth to pour it to separate the whey, the milk whey and the liquid from the protein of the milk. Well, we don't have a giant cheesecloth at our plant, but we have sophisticated equipment that separates that protein from the whey, and that protein becomes now the Greek yogurt, the perfect Greek yogurt that goes into our filler lines to be mixed with different, to be blended with different fruit preparations or to be deposited on top of fruit on the bottom. I don't know how many tried this morning the oats, the Chobani oats. We have this platform also that mixes with oats that are steel-cut oats with fruit and the yogurt. It makes the perfect breakfast. We also have another platform on Indulgent. We add a little more fat and we add chocolate chips. It's the perfect snack. It's wonderful. And also we have a line, which is our flip line, that has a special packaging where part of the container keeps nuts and chocolate or other ingredients dry, that when you open the yogurt, you mix it with the yogurt, and then you can enjoy a perfect snack. So those are all the different platforms. Now, in this sophisticated plant, think about it. In order for all the tanks and all the tubes and the pasteurizers and the fillers, there are miles and miles of pipes. And between pipes and equipment and all the sophisticated technology that we have there are valves. There are more than 6,000 valves that connect all this plant. Well, we don't have 6,000 employees in each valve to determine which way the yogurt will go. Everything is managed behind the computer screen. Everything is automated. The plant is totally automated. All those valves are programmed to make sure that when I have a tank that is being cleaned and sanitized, the next tank is started, the next tank is about being matured, the next tank is delivering yogurt. All that goes together into a cycle that is perfectly planned by the use of technology, the use of the sophisticated equipment linked to all these IT systems that make possible to manage the entire process. To tell you the truth, I can open my computer now and tell you exactly what flavor we're running on line number 4. It's real time, it's accessible via internet. As long as I have an internet access, I can do my job wherever I want because I can see where the tank's at, where the filler's at, what are we doing in this volume. Everything is accessible from my computer to make sure that I always see what's happening at the plant. And all that, I mean, we use Microsoft AX for all the manufacturing things. We have Historian that manages all the online process. We have Wonderware that can take reports and generate reports and trend of how the processes are going to make sure that we're doing the right thing. All those systems, all those computer systems linked to the sophisticated equipment makes us possible to deliver that perfect engine, natural, delicious, nutritious cup of yogurt. When we talk about quality, how do we control the quality of the yogurt? Well, we also have, I mean, Chobani has embraced all this new technology. We have the most sophisticated technologies in our laboratories for all the microbiological testing. We have the most sophisticated and the latest on gas chromatography, and gas chromatography is something that if I put the yogurt in a vial, then the volatiles of the yogurt will go into the headspace. I can take the headspace, inject it into a gas chromatography column, and get a spectrum of the flavor. So that's called an e-nose, electronic nose. With an electronic nose, I make sure that batch after batch, I deliver the flavor profile that Chobani is supposed to have. Well, that's this very sophisticated technology in terms of also measuring the texture, measuring the pH, measuring a lot of things. All that is also connected into our LIMS system, and with the LIMS system, we can do reports, we can track, we can see what's going right. If there is something that is going wrong, we get alarms, and we immediately can take action. But all that allows us, all that sophisticated system that we have, where we test all the samples from the in-process and also from the finished products, will allow us to always deliver the highest quality product out. And it's all based on the sophisticated technology. And based on that technology is the way that we innovate also. And we continue to do, I mean, from the beginning, Chobani has been an innovator, has created this category of Greek yogurt in the United States. It has brought amazing flavors to the marketplace that were not seen before. And we continue to do so. We continue to have new platforms. We're now currently finalizing all the work on new equipment that is special to deliver perfect nutrition for kids and toddlers. You will see in January we're going to have pouches with Greek yogurt. Dr. Post will talk more about the nutrition aspects for kids, but this is a completely new platform that we are now working on. And I really would like to share with you what's coming in the future, but I don't think our marketing people will let me do that now. But they're amazing products, and the way we do that is not only looking at the best technology to achieve that, but also working with our suppliers to bring the technology to them, because a lot of the food preparation start in our suppliers and want to make sure that we get the highest quality ingredients and in a way that we don't over-process, that we process naturally and perfectly to deliver this high quality in our products. So with that, I think, yeah, technology in the food industry continues also to advance. Chobani, at the same time that we put out there a perfect cup of yogurt, an ancient food, something that started the preservation of foods in human history, but all backed by this amazing technology that allows us to deliver this high quality product. With that, I thank you, and I want to bring Robert Post to talk to you about what do we do now and how do we manage and what technology do we use from that cup of perfect yogurt to your refrigerator.
Thank you. I'm glad to be with Alejandro, an appetizer for your lunch. It's always a precarious place to be, standing between a room of 1,000 and lunch. But you wouldn't be, I think Alejandro may have mentioned this, if you had yogurt, Greek yogurt, our Greek yogurt, then you probably wouldn't be as hungry. So I'm glad to be here to talk about communicating an all-natural food with innovative technology. It matches so well with my background, and I know I had an introduction, and I'm Robert Post, and I'm the Senior Director of Nutrition and Regulatory Affairs for Chobani. What Chobani does in helping people get better food for more people, matches so well with my background, and Alejandro mentioned his experiences, and I think that has a lot to do with the passion that we bring to work every day at Chobani. This is the third act in my career, a very long career in the food and nutrition policy arena. I had the opportunity to be at USDA leading the effort to establish food labeling as we know it today, heading the policy office, and in the 1990s established the nutrition labeling requirements that exist today. Of course, all that requires a lot of technology. Technology for understanding how consumers perceive that, but also technology for assessing the values that are put into that information and all the claims on labeling. Then I had the great opportunity of heading the agency, the Center for Nutrition Policy and Promotion at USDA in my last gig. I had the opportunity there of leading the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, all the recommendations where we know we should be eating more Greek yogurt to fit in the healthy eating pattern. I had the great opportunity of serving as the nutrition advisor to the First Lady's office and her Let's Move initiative while I was there. And something important that really helps me in the message I'm delivering here is that it's all about simplicity. And these days, consumers want simple, direct messages. They want to be heard. They want to have food companies responsive. And that's the platform that I used with a My Plate initiative, where I actually cannibalized the food pyramid. Of course, all of you remember that. It's that triangular thing with that little guy running up the stairs. His name was Spike, if you didn't know. Well, Spike is retired, and after 20 years, we knew that a complex infographic didn't work. That what we really need is a simple way to talk to consumers, understand what they want, and deliver that, and tell our story, especially in the food sector, for what makes an attractive, engaging, and healthful food product like Chobani Greek yogurt. So I had led these hallmark changes to change out this complex way of talking to consumers with My Plate. With My Plate came a very simple, and of course I hope you all are familiar with this icon. It is, in its popularity, it eclipsed the popularity at ChooseMyPlate.gov of Facebook in its first year in 2012. And along with it, the Super Tracker shows how simple you can be in communicating with consumers. And that Super Tracker won the 2012 Government Computer News Award for it being this great help for consumers. So with that background, I bring a lot of passion, but also a lot of knowledge that simple is great. And communicating with consumers in a simple way and using technology becomes very important. So that's a great fit. I'm in yogurt heaven when you think about my background and helping achieve better food for more people, which is Chobani's mission. So there are three core values that I would point at as important for how Chobani has become the leader in Greek yogurt using technology. And one is keeping things simple. I mentioned that. I'll tell you how we do that in a moment. It's really a matter of listening to the consumer and reacting to the consumer. Using social media, I'll mention that in a moment. And then anticipating by leading in exploring what is the face of research tomorrow, how we can get more information for consumers to have them choose more healthful foods like Greek yogurt. So it's a forward-facing approach that we think is a core value, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So looking at that first core value, keeping things simple. Well, we have an approach, and that is to use the label. The label is a window on how a product is produced. Everything that Alejandro mentioned is really reflected in labels, and if you're really listening to consumers, you're giving them the information that they really need. And then the other part of this is reacting to what consumers are telling us. We know there's a ton of information that consumers want. We also know that we have a ton of information that we want to tell our consumers. So how do you get to the parts that matter most to consumers? And that's through the food label, and we listen very carefully. And so that's how we get to the ability to ensure the accuracy and ensure and verify the validity of statements and being transparent with statements about having all natural ingredients. We have a statement that relates to non-GMO ingredients in our foods. No preservatives, no artificial flavors or colors, no milk from cows treated with growth hormones, as Alejandro mentioned. All of this requires a technology to ensure the accuracy and truthfulness on every cup. And I go everywhere with my prop. This is the first cup of yogurt I ate when I joined, and it's empty. I have to assure you it's empty. But it's inspiring to me because it's inspiring to see, for example, when it comes to nutrition, beyond production. When it comes to nutrition, it's great to see that on our lines of Greek yogurt, you know that there's 40% less sugar in the fruit on the bottom and in our blended, that there's 25% less sugar in the kids' tubes compared to competitors. We know that through testing and validation. We know that there's 8 grams of whole grain in a serving in that cup of Chobani oats, so you did yourself something good today by having that earlier, hopefully. We know that there's less than 5% lactose in Chobani Greek yogurt, which is great for those who are lactose intolerant. And we get that information verified through technology for sampling and analysis. And we know that fiber is a great contributor to our diets when it comes to the Simply 100. So it's important, talking simply and talking about a simple product in ways that consumer understands. So the second value really is about using social media. And I joined this company that has, in its growth, it's a young company, and it's actually grown on social media. It knows nothing else. And so how do you have a conversation with 1 million people, what I call Chobaniacs, that are out there, that share our passion, share the inspiration, share the enjoyment of a nutritious and delicious